Welcome back to Bizarre Bureau, where we peel back the layers of the strangest stories in history. Today we're journeying back to ancient Egypt, to a tomb sealed for over 3,000 years, and a curse whispered to have claimed the lives of all who dared to disturb it. Was it the supernatural wrath of a long-dead pharaoh, or something far more logical, yet equally chilling? This is the story of the curse of Tutankhamun. Our story begins in 1922. For years, British archaeologist Howard Carter had been tirelessly digging in Egypt's Valley of the Kings, funded by the wealthy Lord Carnarvon. He was searching for the tomb of a minor pharaoh, a boy king named Tutankhamun. Just as his funding was about to run out, his team made a discovery that would change history forever: a hidden flight of stairs leading down into the earth. On November 26th, Carter, with Lord Carnarvon at his side, made a small breach in the sealed doorway. Peering inside with a candle, Carnarvon asked, "Can you see anything?" Carter's reply became legendary. Yes, wonderful things. What they saw was a treasure trove beyond imagination. Golden chariots, ornate furniture, and statues, all untouched for millennia. It was the archaeological find of the century. But as the world celebrated, a darker narrative began to take shape. The story of a curse. It was fueled by sensationalist newspapers, eager for a dramatic headline. They claimed an inscription was found, warning that death shall come on swift wings to him that toucheth the tomb of the pharaoh. While no such specific inscription was ever officially documented by Carter's team, the idea took root and began to grow. The first supposed victim was Lord Carnarvon himself. Just a few months after the tomb was opened, in April 1923, he died in Cairo. The cause? An infected mosquito bite on his cheek, which he had accidentally sliced open while shaving. The timing was uncanny. At the very moment of his death, a massive power outage plunged all of Cairo into darkness. To make things even spookier, back in England, Carnarvon's beloved dog, Susie, reportedly howled and dropped dead at the same instant. Coincidence? The media didn't think so. The legend of the curse exploded. From that point on, every misfortune connected, however loosely, to the excavation was blamed on King Tut's revenge. Let's look at some of the other alleged victims. George J. Gould, a wealthy American financier, visited the tomb in 1923. He fell ill with a fever almost immediately and died within months. Then there was Prince Ali Kamel Fahmy Bey of Egypt, who was fatally shot by his wife in a London hotel in 1923, just after he had visited the tomb. Sir Archibald Douglas Reed, a radiologist who x-rayed Tutankhamun's mummy, supposedly died of a mysterious illness in 1924. And C. Mace, a member of Carter's excavation team, died of poisoning in 1928. The list went on, growing with each passing year. Each death was presented as another piece of evidence, another name on the Pharaohs' hit list. The story was just too good to let go. It was a tale of ancient magic versus modern hubris, and the public couldn't get enough. It seemed undeniable. Disturbing the boy king's eternal slumber had a deadly price. But here at Bizarre Bureau, we like to dig a little deeper. So let's put on our detective hats and examine the evidence. Was this truly a supernatural curse, or were there more rational explanations for these unfortunate events? Let's start with the source of the curse itself, that dramatic, death-promising inscription. Most reputable Egyptologists agree that this specific swift wings of death, quote, was likely a fabrication by the press. While Egyptian tombs did contain protective inscriptions, they were generally aimed at deterring tomb robbers with threats of divine judgment or desecration, not a Hollywood-style curse on archaeologists. The media simply created the perfect soundbite for their spooky story. Now, what about all those deaths? They seem pretty convincing at first glance, but statistics tell a different story. A study conducted years later looked at the 25 Westerners who were present when the tomb was opened. How many of them died within the next decade? Only 6. Their average age at death? 70 years old. Hardly a sign of a supernatural plague cutting people down in their prime. Let's re-examine Lord Carnarvon's death. While the timing was dramatic, dying from an infected insect bite in the 1920s, Before, the widespread availability of antibiotics was tragically common, especially for someone with a weakened immune system, which Carnarvon reportedly had. The power outage in Cairo? Those were frequent occurrences at the time. And his dog's death? A sad coincidence, but one that added a fantastic layer to the legend. What about the others? Many of the so-called victims had logical causes of death that had nothing to do with a curse. Prince Ali's death was a clear-cut case of domestic violence. Many others died from known illnesses or accidents years after their involvement. The list of victims was often padded with people who had only a remote connection to the tomb, or in some cases, had never even been to Egypt. So if it wasn't a supernatural curse, could something else inside the tomb have been responsible? This is where science offers a fascinating alternative. A sealed tomb, unopened for over 3,000 years, is the perfect breeding ground for some nasty things. Think about it. Food offerings, organic materials, even the mummy itself, all left to decay in a dark, stagnant environment. This could have created a cocktail of dangerous mold and bacteria. Spores of fungi like Aspergillus could have been released into the air when the tomb was unsealed. Inhaling these spores can cause respiratory infections and allergic reactions, especially in individuals with compromised immune systems like Lord Carnarvon. This tomb fungus theory provides a plausible scientific explanation for why some people who spent significant time in the tomb might have developed respiratory illnesses. Infection from ancient bacteria is another possibility. While less likely to survive for 3,000 years, it's not entirely impossible that some dormant pathogens were awakened. So, instead of a magical curse, it could have been a biological one, a microscopic threat left behind by time itself. And finally, let's consider the most powerful force of all, human psychology. The power of suggestion is incredibly strong. Once the idea of a curse was planted, people started connecting unrelated events. Every stomach ache, every bit of bad luck was seen through the lens of the Pharaoh's wrath. It is a classic case of confirmation bias. We look for evidence that supports what we already believe, and we ignore what doesn't. The media fan these flames, creating a self-perpetuating myth. Ironically, the one person who should have been the curse's primary target, Howard Carter, lived for another 17 years after opening the tomb, dying at the age of 64 from lymphoma. He never believed in the curse, dismissing it as Tommy rot. He spent a decade carefully cataloging every single one of the 5,398 items from the tomb, spending more time in it than anyone. If the Pharaoh was angry, surely the man who led the entire operation would have been first on his list. Carter's long life is perhaps the strongest argument against the existence of a curse. So, what's the final verdict from the Bizarre Bureau? The Curse of Tutankhamun is a captivating tale, a perfect blend of ancient mystery, sudden death, and media frenzy. But when you strip away the sensationalism, you find a story built on coincidence, scientific possibilities, and the remarkable power of a good narrative. The real curse was perhaps the one created by the newspapers, a legend so powerful it has overshadowed the incredible historical and cultural significance of the discovery itself. The story of King Tut isn't about the revenge of a dead king. It asks about the incredible preservation of a lost world and the human fascination with the unknown that keeps us searching, digging, and telling these stories for generations. What do you think? Was it a Pharaoh's supernatural vengeance or a perfect storm of microbes and media hype? Let us know your theories in the comments below. Thank you for joining us at the Bizarre Bureau. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next investigation. See you next time.